Welcome back to the retirement ranch. We're in here in the ranch cave, warming up until we go out and plow. And today's video, we're going to talk about the difference between plowing with the little shoes on the end of the plow that lift the blade off the gravel, as opposed to taking them off and plowing without them. Get right down to the base of the road or concrete driveway or whatever you have. We're going to show the difference between putting the shoes on, leaving that inch or so space and snow on the ground, and compared to taking the shoes off, getting right down, and the big difference of that, and how much gravel you actually pull up off the ground with these plows. This is a plow that's on a side-by-side, and it's not that heavy, and it's free floating as opposed to putting some down pressure on it like some plows, so you're not going to be pulling up a lot of gravel. And the gravel is kind of frozen now, so you'll be pulling up even less gravel, pushing it off into the windrows as you're plowing. So let's go out, show you the difference between the two, and see what we can accomplish today after the new snowfall. Looks like the wife has already left for this morning. And you see there's 3 or 4 inches on the ground. We'll walk up to the shop, grab the side-by-side. See, haven't really had a big chance to plow a lot of snow this year with it. Hasn't snowed much up here in the northwest. Looks like I can do a little bit today, just at least to see how it's going to perform. I found that if you leave the shoes on, then every time you plow, you keep leaving that inch behind, and it plows or snows 3 or 4 inches every time. You're gonna have 3 or 4 inches left behind, and when it thaws, you've got a big slushy mess. So here's the Uforce 1000 that we're gonna use. Let's get it warmed up and see how it does. I have it set up with the shoes on. We'll do a quick video to show how much it leaves behind. Set at that setting that it's on now. This looks like just an inch, but I see that they catch on potholes and edges of concrete and whatnot, and just shakes it. And like the guys at work that use these, they've broken a couple off. So I've had that experience on the Polaris over there. Plowed for years with it, and it did fine, but it was out in the open. Today, with the Uforce full cab and heat, it's a pleasure to plow. So let's get to it. Welcome back to the retirement ranch. Today, I think we're gonna do a little plowing, show you what the difference is between having the shoes on the plow and taking the shoes off. It snowed last night, and I plowed a little bit last night with the shoes on and left an inch behind after plowing, but then it snowed a little more today overnight. So we're going to take the shoes off of the plow and see if we can't get down to the cement and the gravel. Let's take a walk up to the shop, get the plow. One thing I really don't like about the Uforce is I got to use the wired control button up and down here that's wired directly in, which is convenient if you're just using the winch. But for a plow, I think I'm going to move it to a manual switch on the dashboard here somewhere. I got enough spaces for it. I've got a rocker switch that I'm going to install, and for a winch in and out, and that'll be easier. Just kind of mount it right here where I can push it up and down. Well, let's lower this, see what happens. installed these with these, I don't know, you just wrap wire around it instead of using actual cotter pins. So we're going to rip this off with some pliers. Get this off of here. I got the pin out. Take the top washers off, spacers, and we're going to drop this. And it just gets removed. So now I'm down to ground level with this. We'll remove the other one and see how we do. So you can see we left, the tread is still cutting through the snow, so we left a good inch behind. So let's take, boots are off, the brand new bit on the front of the plow, see how it cuts down to the concrete, and hopefully we don't tear up too much gravel with it. Next to the garage, I'm going to back blade this so I can give myself some room. We'll see how close to the concrete this will scrape off. Last night with the shoes on it, I just kept hitting every pothole, and it just makes the blade jump off the ground, and you don't get a good smooth. And plus, you leave that inch or so behind. So it looks like I got down to the gravel without pushing too much gravel. The ground's pretty frozen. It's been really cold out here, so most of the gravel is frozen into the road. So you're not going to pull too much off and push it off to the side. So I think it's a good day for a good plows. See how it looks on the way back. I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And no gravel really is pushed off into the berm. So let's continue with other paths. shoes off coming out of the garage there, got right down to the concrete, so pretty happy with that. See if we can do it again and clean this up, see how it looks. You can tell by the flakes I left behind that was what was pulled up off of what was left behind last night after plowing. So I got right down to the concrete. So without the shoes on, you're getting down to the concrete. When it thaws out, you're gonna have a nice surface here instead of a big slushy, icy mess as it thaws and refreezes. So looks like it's scraped off pretty good. Let's continue. Out to the county road again. And of course, after I get this all cleaned up, the county will come by with their plows and create a big wrinkle right in front of what I just did. So tonight after work, I'll come back and clean up that berm they leave, maybe up and around the mailboxes here. Mailman gets pissy if you don't clean up around the mailbox so he can access it. Well, you know, if they get out of their car once in a while, they could get to it. But, you know, that's another story. But you can look at the road I've done. Excuse me. 1.5 passes got me right down to the gravel. I think it's going to be a good job. You see with this new open trail plow on the side-by-side, it's 6 feet wide, and this 24-foot road I can do 2 passes and have the full 2 lanes of travel on the private road, and it works pretty good. With the ATV it was like a 4-foot blade, and I'd have to make 3 or 4 passes, not under cover or with heat on, and after 20 years it got old, so I invested in the side-by-side and really enjoying it this year. It's the first time I've been able to really plow with it, so looking good so far. Well, here's the road with 2 passes. I made a good 18 feet wide. Got a big berm over here without much gravel in it. Looking good. It's a little dirt, but the gravel's pretty much on the ground. It's right down to a manageable driving level. If the wind kicks up, it won't drift too bad out here in the open area. So yeah, enjoy it so far. The Uforce is a pretty capable rig. Got full windows, electric powered. The open trail blade is doing a good job. So a little bit extra weight makes me plow more, and I can go fast, and the job gets done in half the time. So far, looking good. Now let's finish this up and get going. I'd say, some people might say, why don't you just put a plow on the ranch truck and be done with it? Well, this is more fun, and that's a big, heavier blade, and for sure it would probably too much pressure on the gravel road and push too much gravel off the road. Gravel's kind of expensive. I don't like to see it being pushed off to the side of the road too much. So this was a compromise, getting the side-by-side. So let's finish up the front of the ranch house and we'll get on with the day. Apparently the last 2 passes I've done in 2-wheel drive. So you flip the little switch down here from 2 to 4. And then it does have the 4 lock, where it locks everything in and all 4 tires. But I'll just run it in 4 high this time and see how it performs. Seemed to do pretty good just in 2-wheel drive on the last 2 passes. So looks like the driveway's looking pretty good, going up this little hill here, and I'm right down to the gravel and down to the concrete. So looking much better. So there's the shoes we took off. And we're getting clean this up tonight when I get back. But I just want to give a quick video showing the difference between which shoes on and which shoes off. I'm right down in the concrete out here and at the retirement ranch shop. And down at the ranch house, that driveway looks really good. We'll go take a look at it as I walk down and get the car. So Uforce, pretty happy with it. Plenty of power, plenty of weight, no chains. But then again, the tires are brand new, so that helps a little bit. But I did most of the long part of the road with two-wheel drive, so this did really well. And did I mention the Uforce has a heater? So added bonus, I'll tell you that right now. I saw the neighbor plowing one day, and he has a side-by-side with a heater and air conditioning, the full works, and I got jealous. He was out plowing in a t-shirt, and I was all bundled up on the ATV, and I go, no, this isn't gonna work. I did that for 26 years we've been out here, and now I'm gonna do it in a little more comfort. But you can see the road is down to the gravel. Taking those shoes off, hardly any is pushed up into the berm. You know, there'll be a couple spots, but for the most part, there's no gravel taken up off the road. But it is pretty frozen still. I got a little gravel in this berm here, but there's gravel underneath that, so I really just displaced a little gravel is all. But as you can see, took it right down to the concrete. So that's going to be nice. I can clean this up a little bit later. Down around the ranch house here, looks pretty good. Little hill of the driveway. The wife, we won't have too much trouble getting in and out. We'll go over her new car and that capability at a later video. But anyway, thanks for stopping in at the retirement ranch. And if you're looking to retire soon or have a similar situation, look at getting yourself a side-by-side with a heater and a nice wide plow, and you can knock this chore out in half the time than what I usually do with a utility vehicle or an ATV and a smaller plow. It might pay for itself over time. So there you go. See you next time. Bye. So we're in the car now. We're going to take a drive out, see how we did on the plowing. Didn't hit any gate posts. That was good. You can see gravel at the bottom. Wide enough for two cars to pass. I'll come out and clean up the neighbors' approaches tonight if they don't do it themselves. I like to do a little community service for the neighbors. I mean, there's only 3 of us on this half-mile long road, but it's always nice to help them out if they don't have the means. As you can see, the road is nice and wide with only 2 passes. You know, it only took a half hour to do the whole half-mile driveway and around the ranch house and the ranch shop. I'll have another 15 minutes tonight just cleaning up what I didn't get done this morning, and I think it's a great benefit. I wish I'd gotten the side-by-side 15 years ago, but it's okay. We got her now. I'm glad it snowed a little bit. I could play with it and actually see how it performed. But we're out to the county road already, and the county will come by, put a big berm in front of my road, and I'll have to clean that up tonight. And we'll clean up around the mailbox. Hopefully the mailman will deliver today. He gets a little pissy, like I said before, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's only a couple inches or 4 inches or so. He should be able to do that. The rest of this area where he turns around is good and right down to the gravel, so if he has to get out of his vehicle, heaven forbid, he can do that. So there you go.